I'm super stoked. I'm super stoked to do this. I think it was a great suggestion from the community. Um, I have a hard stop at like 4:45, 4:50, because then I got to wake up my son. Um, but for those who don't listen to Game Chat, don't really care about all things video games, and they're starting into Party Chat where we're just hanging out and we're a bunch of people, bunch of friends. Mario, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a guy who loves comic books, movies, video games, and generally just someone who is interested in storytelling and those things. And that's just a big part of who I am. I mean, you can see the all the garbage that's all around me that I'm clearly a fan of, and just yeah, just sort of a person that feels like they are overly interested to the point where they want to talk about it all the time. So that's how I would probably personally describe myself.
Well, awesome. Well, dude,
Uh,
you're the first one to be on Party Chat.
oh
So
boy,
yeah, this is inaugural episode
setting the
patient
tone.
zero. That's what's happening. So there's going to be a lot of kinks we're going to work out.
Sure.
But thank you again so much to our patrons for making this possible. Your support has allowed us a little bit of extra time and hustle to make this show happen. But before we get into the topic of the show, where we're just going to go around and just talk about whatever topics we've brought into to each other, we have some questions for our guests. Now, these can be submitted via our Patreon, so our patrons will get first jump into that, but then our Discord as well. So if you're out there in the community, you want to be a part of this, um, there you go, join in. But so we do have a question for you from Mike the Knight, one of our patrons. If you can make 3 remasters of your favorite video games when you were younger, what would they be? And
Oh
like
boy.
rapid fire, don't think too hard about it. We don't want any explanations. Just boom, boom, boom. What would they be? I want to get people's heads stirring.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Crimson Skies. Bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
Splinter Cell. The original Splinter Cell. Remake it. Just bring it.
Dude,
Just remake it.
yeah, that would be so good.
And of course, Metal Gear Solid 1. Please remake that. I want to
Yes.
play that in a new light. I know it's already been remade on the GameCube. Just do it again.
That's
Just
the best
please.
version. I think they should redo that one.
Yeah, for sure. But Crimson Skies is the one I'm like, please bring back.
Yeah, that one is yeah, I would want that one real bad. I think if they brought back the first Splinter Cell, I think the only thing that I would want, is just bringing the control scheme to make it a little bit more fresh from Blacklist, but keep everything else the same.
Yeah.
Please,
Lambert.
Lord.
Give me back Lambert.
Yeah. Rip. R.I.P.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get into the meat of it. It's time for the topic of the show where we're bringing in some stuff. We've all got things we're going to talk about. I'm going to start off first. Here's what I want to talk about: fast food breakfast. So each morning on the weekends we get Starbucks. It's just like a little treat to ourselves because we work from home. I don't know if anybody else listening has that feeling where it's like, okay, in the mornings I just don't have time or energy to go out and get anything. So the weekends is when we treat ourselves. Um, I made the audible to actually get Taco Bell breakfast instead because I'm one of those like whenever we're getting fast food and we don't do it too often, like my wife will want something and then I'll want something else and she'll like for example like I'll really want like Panda Express and she'll say, well, then I'm getting Canes. I'm like, well, no, you can't get Canes without me. So then I get suckered into getting Canes. And so it's the same thing with Starbucks. Like I always got to have my bacon Gouda. I can't let her get one and I can't. But so we doubled up this weekend. We did it yesterday and we did it today. So I felt good. So I went to Taco Bell, got there in the nick of time. And as I was pulling in, because it was they end their breakfast at 11 o'clock. I'm rolling in at 10:58, getting in behind another car, and as soon as they get up there, it's 10:59. And as I'm ordering, they're switching menus, and it dawned on me. This is well, they honored it though. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I was so thankful because I was like, wait. Can I please just get a breakfast crunch wrap? I'm basically accosting this drive-thru. I'm like, please, can you do this?
Oh,
I'm
no.
begging you. I'm right here. I was in line, I promise. And I was like, wait a minute. McDonald's already like cracked this code years ago with their like 24 hours breakfast. Now it's not like the whole breakfast menu, but it's like the key items that we care about.
Yeah.
Why don't more places do that?
Dude, in the same way where Burger King if you're like, I'm not a breakfast person, I can get a burger in the morning. They crack the code too.
Right?
You know, everyone should just do these things. I don't understand why we're like so segmented in these different like rituals that we've had for years. Break the rules, make it different, you know, change your food up, get food from different regions like you did for a week. Why is the McRib only sometimes, you know, why is the McRib all the times? Break these rules. But yeah, breakfast, that is terrible. They should have breakfast all the time.
All day, every day. At least like a handful of items. Like the Cinnabon Delights used to be all the time. And then they stopped doing that and just put it as a side item for breakfast. I'm like, that is criminal. They're so good. But yeah, if I could just get a breakfast crunch wrap just in the afternoon on a whim, I would be eternally grateful. Has either of you tried Taco Bell's breakfast?
No. I'm a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle guy through and through. So like, I don't know if I can step outside of that and like cheat on like what I consider to be like the perfect breakfast sandwich.
You're missing out. I'm just saying it right now. Like Taco Bell has the best. They have the best breakfast hash browns, and they have the best fast food coffee.
Fair enough.
They're so good. So good.
Yeah, I personally been lately especially during the pandemic, have been making my own breakfast meals, specifically breakfast burritos on a daily basis, only because it's delicious.
Yeah,
making some learning how to chop onions and peppers and cutting that sucker in, sauteing those suckers, making it into putting some salsa from a giant salsa jug thing that I have. So good. Flour tortilla.
I'm drooling. I can smell that my wife is making dinner right now.
Lucky.
Please, we gotta wrap this up. I want to eat. I'm hungry. Last time that, like, when I did that was, let's say 11 o'clock. That was the last time that I ate today. Wow, that was the last time that I ate. And she got me Ring Fit Adventure. I took it and ate, and I did it for the first time yesterday. Holy crap, my body hurts so bad. But
I have a question.
I'm committed though. I don't want to quit. Yeah.
Do you agree that the villain is a little like I feel like there's a whole subset of the world that is very like
I don't know which one your finger point, which thing that it could possibly be, but I'll tell you what, that villain is horny about something.
Yes, I was like, I got this game and someone was like, oh, the bad guy's kind of horny, and I was like, no, and then I played it and I was like, he is like ready to go.
That first boss fight when he's doing his push-ups, if you roll that back in slow-mo and he like turns and looks, he gives like a little bit of a wink, half closed eye. I'm like, this dude's trying to hit something and I don't want it. Because like he's a demon bull. I don't know where you've been. You've been locked up in a sweat ring for years.
Right. It's very like Greek mythology of him, but
yeah, probably broke up with like Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, you know?
Yes.
Just clearly exes.
They'd be a power couple.
100%.
I don't even want to think what kinds of STDs they're crawling with. Just
Lord.
The ancient one.
But Mario, you've got feelings about stuff right now. What do you got?
Yeah, so I recently I don't know who posted it, and I shame you whoever did, because it's your fault that I'm doing this now. But I bought a vinyl for the first time. I'm not a vinyl collector when it comes to like, not vinyl toys. I do have those, but I mean like vinyl, like in terms of a thing that has music, a record player, a record specifically. So I bought I guess it's from Mondo, reprint of the Batman soundtrack from 1989, and it looks incredible because it's half black, half purple.
Yeah.
And I was just reminiscing about the reason why I bought it is because I love the soundtrack of those movies and movies in general. Okay, I'm a huge movie person. I wanted to ask you guys, what was some of your favorite movie soundtracks? Stuff that you play separate from the movie and that you enjoy on your own. Like, and I'm going to remove Guardians of the Galaxy out of it because I don't think they count because it's too powerful. It's 2 SP. You know, it's 2 SP. But is there any soundtracks or like, in terms of, and it could have like legit songs, not just the actual score, but legit music?
So like talking vinyl specifically, La La Land. That is so good, and that was like a day one purchase when that came out on vinyl, because we collect records like just of our favorite bands.
Sure.
We do that. Well, obviously, like with the pandemic, we don't really do that anymore, because it's like you need to buy those secondhand to get them for like $4, $5, $3, because otherwise, if you order them online, they're like super expensive.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But if I just like had to pick a soundtrack that I listen to all the time, man, I listen to, from movies, I listen to the Terminator soundtracks all the time.
Ooh, yeah.
Specifically 1 and 2. Soundtracks from the Matrix movies, because despite what people think of 2 and 3, the music is top notch.
Sure.
And I actually throw all of this stuff. I have so many playlists on Spotify, and I like group them together with like, okay, these are like space themed, these are cyberpunky themed. So I'm constantly listening to soundtracks, but those would probably be my 2 top listened to ones, I think. I don't know.
You know what though? I'm racking my brain for like a score, like a true like scored soundtrack for a movie that like stands out, because in my brain, and I feel like I'm gonna kind of pull like the basic card, is like the Suicide Squad soundtrack and the Birds of Prey soundtrack are very solid for how much people hate on the DC universe. Those 2 films have top tier soundtracks. My favorite all time though is the Great Gatsby movie.
Oh, the
like,
original
with Beyonce.
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
like
interesting.
Lana Del Rey. I mean, they overused Young and Beautiful in that movie, but like they overused Old Sport, so it's par for the course. But like those are 3 soundtracks that like truly stick out to me from like an orchestral soundtrack. Lord of the Rings. Like,
oh yes.
Oh yeah.
But like I used to listen to those when I was studying in college, and when I was like writing essays, as you got to like the more like battle themes, my typing got a little bit more furious. I got a little faster. And so I like very fondly remember listening to those, because we had to learn how to play them in like band and orchestra and stuff. And so it's like that would be like a pure like soundtrack that was like scored for the film.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the Black Panther soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a beautiful
another
collection.
solid soundtrack.
Yeah, constantly go back to that one. That and Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse as well. Fantastic.
So
that's a good one too.
Yeah. There is I love the soundtrack to the movie Goonies, because it has a banging Cyndi Lauper joint in the middle of that movie that I absolutely enjoy quite a bit. Score wise, also like any movie that's scored by John Williams, any of them. They're all fantastic. Specifically, if you buy a John Williams CD, you're in for a treat. E.T. specifically, I'll probably point out, E.T. to me is underrated as some of the best music he's ever produced. So I think E.T. has I think E.T. Everyone talks about Indiana Jones, they talk about Star Wars, but I think E.T. is probably his best work. Just the arrangements that he does, and like the way the music makes you feel in certain moments, just listen to it now and you'll like, oh my God, I want to go do something, you know? Like, oh, and of course, Superman, fantastic. One of my favorites as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, are you talking about the
original,
Reeves?
The Christopher Reeves, the John Williams score specifically.
So good.
Yeah.
And very like, it's just, that's like one that has like endured this whole time. Like if you hear that, you're not going to be like, oh, let's change it. Like that's one where you like listen to it and you're like, that feels good. It feels good. Yeah. It's nostalgic.
I think everyone like likes to talk about like oh my God, Hans Zimmer, later.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't go back to them as often as I want to. Like as much as I love The Dark Knight, I think The Dark Knight soundtrack is great when I watch the movie. It's not necessarily something I want to listen to after the fact.
Yeah.
But John Williams, like I said, just carries me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Hans Zimmer, he's all right. Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman's another one. Oh my God.
Killer.
So many wonderful just little things that he does. I mean, the fact that he was the Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry, not Nightmare on Elm Street. I get that confused so many damn times. Nightmare Before Christmas is, in my opinion, one of his masterpieces, as well as Uncle Boingo.
1000%.
Yes.
All right, Nate. I wish that we could dive a little bit deeper but let's hop into yours because I have more soundtracks I want to go into. But what's your topic for the show?
For sure.
So the best Toonami series.
That's not even
Toonami.
fair.
Well, that's the thing is, it's going to be polarizing, and it's meant to be polarizing. Toonami holds a very special place in my heart because it was where I could watch Sailor Moon after school and before school. I will be a Moonie until the day I die. But my favorite Toonami series is Reboot, and I will fight to the death. I will die on that hill. Reboot is one of my favorite shows. I don't know why they haven't remastered it, rebooted it.
They did
like done anything.
It was terrible.
Ew, they did.
Yeah, you might
It
not
got
want to.
canceled
You might not want to look.
Then I'm gonna avoid that. Like Hexadecimal, like as a little like homo living in the suburbs, Hexadecimal was like the blueprint for who to be as a person. And I will tell you, like when Hela came out and Thor Ragnarok, I was like, Hexadecimal did it first. And I will stand by that too. So that was my all-time favorite Toonami show, but there were so many to choose from because there was like deep cut anime, more vanilla anime. There was Reboot, like Mario. What about you, Asa? What about you?
I don't want to get like too elitist here, but technically, Reboot started off as just a Cartoon Network show that led into Toonami, and then they brought it in later on and like made it a part of the lineup because
my life is a lie.
That's when Cartoon Network was adding in more shows, and so they were dropping Reboot, but it had such a cult following that it made a new home within Toonami.
I feel like it fits.
If
it doesn't
better.
technically count, then Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah.
No, it fits.
I mean, the be all end all is Dragon Ball. I mean, it's Dragon Ball.
True.
I was gonna say that, but because Dragon Ball Z specifically is like one of my favorite anime because that's just what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Also, that and like Gundam Wing, the way that those worked in tandem was phenomenal.
Sure.
But one that people don't talk about too often, and it just has such a special place in my heart, and I'm just gonna say Tenchi, period. Because they went back and forth between Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, and Tenchi in Tokyo. But just like those anime and Toonami is like, that was my favorite experience. And you don't see those series like too often. I don't know if I'm allowed to like pick any runners up, but I would do Big O because that was like Gundam Batman, and then Outlaw Star, which was like, if you couldn't quite get into Cowboy Bebop for whatever reason, like you could watch Outlaw Star, which was very much its own thing. It was like more Mass Effect-y kind of, but it was so good. But Tenchi is my pick.
Yeah. I'm sticking my guns. It's Dragon Ball Z. There's nothing. I've tuned in every day to see what the next episode was going to be, unlike Dragon Ball. And even though the Spirit Bomb section is still one of the silliest things that I've ever watched, but as a kid, oh my god, I was so excited to see whenever that thing was going to happen, and when it did, it let me down. But at the same time, yeah, I was glued in every week to see what is going on with my my himbo Goku and his buddies. So
yeah, I hated missing episodes, and I liked playing sports as a kid, but I felt so much rebellion against my parents because sports practice right after school always cut into my Toonami time. And I just wanted to watch anime. I was a weeb and I didn't even know what a weeb was.
Yeah.
But I hope you all are having a good time with Party Chat. Please let us know any comments or suggestions that you have for it. Again, it is very, very new. Things are pretty open as far as to how we're doing it, but we're just hanging out with some friends around the internet. The other side of games is how I'm coining it. But Mario, for those again who aren't listening to Game Chat but are listening to Party Chat, where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me as a freelance video producer on the net. Of course, you can find me on Twitter.com/thatMarioRivera, Twitch.tv/thatMarioRivera, YouTube/Mario Rivera, and then you can find my podcast at Point in Progress, where of course we are talking about video games, recommendations, hot takes, and it's me and 4 other people just having a good time and goofing off for an hour and 90 minutes, just having a good blast. So if you like content, you like people hanging out, especially new voices that you haven't seen before, please join us at Point in Progress.
Nate, where can people find you?
I am on all the socials at the Nate Pretzel, like the food. So that's where I'll be doing all the things.
And you can find me on Twitter at agreenriver07. And then if you want to follow anybody, please go to any of your social platforms, search Borderline Entertainment, like, comment, follow, subscribe, all that great stuff so you can stay in the know and you know when we have new content coming out for you. Again, thank you so much to our patrons for making this possible. Please consider supporting us today. I always hate pushing it, but we want to do more. We want to do this full time like so many other people, and we want to give those opportunities to others. So please consider supporting us today on patreon.com/borderline entertainment. But until next time, be well, Borderline family. See ya.